Heading up to Mom's. Can y'all see what I see? Molly in the pond. I'm zoomed in as far as I can zoom in. Molly in the pond. The ducks, hey, they're almost in a row. Got my ducks in a row this morning. Not really. And then a couple of the goats looking at me. Well, one's looking at me, one's eating. I don't see the other guys. Good morning, Molly. Yes, it was cool this morning. It's sort of early for her to be. Oh, I see Frodo. Oh, shit. Don't come out. Don't come out. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. Oh, there they are. They all hear me. Good morning, babies. Good morning. Morning. I'm headed down to get Mom. We've had rain. We had rain yesterday. Not a lot, but some. And we've got chances of rain for the next several days. I'm stepping out of camera 1 second. Put my earrings on. Just realized because looking at y'all, I have no earrings on. I can see myself. So, I last night went and looked up Houston Garden Center. And they have half off of their trees and some of their shrubs and all kinds of stuff. So if I could get 3 crepe myrtles for this front driveway to line the driveway with, I think 4 would be good, but that would be putting them a little close. And I don't want them to go into trees. I know that maybe at some point in my life I'm going to get to the place where I can't maybe keep them trimmed down, but I would like them to stay. Baby, your shorts are on inside out. Bring them. Yes, they are. Bring them to me. I would like them to stay, 5-6 foot tall is all. And just stay very bushy with the flowers. No, you can't wear these.
No?
No, you've got these dirty. Go look in my bed. On my bed, I just put some clothes there this morning, see if you have some shorts. So anyway, I just think that would bring some color. I have no color in my front yard except for right up against the house, and then you have to look up to see those crepe myrtles. And they don't have color all the time. And these crepe myrtles won't either. They're crepe myrtles. Okay, look in the dryer. Those should be dry. I put them in this morning. I think the dryer stopped, so there should be dry shorts. Anyway, I want to go and see about, well, I just want to see everything they've got, because there's a plant called Texas sage. It's got this really pretty, it's a bush, and it's got this really pretty purple flower on it. And I think if I plant 3 trees and 2 of those sage in between, but I really would like something in evergreen. Good. Now that shirt's not any good either. No, if you have to get out with us, if we get there and it's too hot and you can't sit in the truck, then you're gonna have to have a clean shirt. Take it off. Let me help him for a second. So yeah, I'm going to go put the car seat in my car for Coda, and then go up and get Mom, which I told her I would come get her 6 minutes ago. So we're out the door, and we will take y'all along with me so you can see what I'm grabbing. Okay, this is Houston Garden Center. And I see real big half off on that sign. Although I looked at their ad online last night. Huh?
Are you limping?
Not yet. I think I see a purple crepe myrtle. Daddy wants a purple one for purple or pink to go next to Heidi's little memorial. at these. Levi said he don't want to get out, so I put all the windows down for him. Ow. These are such big containers. I was hoping for like a 3-gallon container. I don't even see a price on these. Let me see over here. Yeah, this is a 5-gallon. No, that says a Jasmine. That's this. I don't know where their crepe myrtle thing is. Well, I don't see their crepe myrtle. Alright, let's go inside, see what we can find. And I'll show y'all what we find. Alright, so my dilemma is I wanted a pot that's like a 3-gallon pot. From what I see in their crepe myrtles, they only have 7-gallon pots. That's going to be a big hole for me to dig, guys, and the truth is I don't think I can do it in that front yard right now. We haven't had enough rain. They're coming from the back with all these crepe myrtles. But see, the pot is big. It's 7 gallons. Roses. Oleander, but oleander is dangerous for like cows or goats or horses. It's poisonous. They have a pretty flower on them. I've had oleander in the front before and I thought, you know what, nothing gets out here. But you never know when something is going to be out there. I am not seeing any red tip. Right, here we go. I just started saying I'm not seeing any red tip hedge. But these are big pots too. I can't dig a hole for these big pots. Alright, I'm going to get 2 of these, I believe. I'm hoping these are half off too. It is a shrub and it's an evergreen. I think I'm going to get it in the yellow. Pretty. So if I put these 2 between 3 crepe myrtles, I think that'll be pretty. But I think I'm going to get my crepe myrtle somewhere else because I can't dig a hole for a 7-gallon pot. I just can't do it. Whew. I don't know where Mom and the baby went. But I'm gonna go up with these and then try to find Mom. All right, I'm home. We just dropped off Mom and Dad's crepe myrtle. And then I have these, which are very pretty. I'm gonna read up on them and see just how tall they get. This is called the, oh, that's on that, oh no, let me get it off. I don't know how you say that word. Either that X is silent or that I is silent. But it's the Maui yellow. Needs to get lots of sunlight, but this doesn't say how tall it gets, so I'm gonna Google it in a little while, see how tall it gets. But my plan is for them to go right here, so I'm gonna space out. I'm gonna start with a crepe myrtle, which I don't have, and I'm gonna try to put it right here, sort of straight across from that tree. Let's see, here's the line of these. It won't be this far over because that's going to be out in the driveway as far, but I'll come in a little bit. So about right here, lined up with that tree and this tree will be my first one, about right here. And then I think I'm just going to do 3, and I'll go a couple of feet over and put one of those yellow ones, and then I'll put another crepe myrtle. And then I feel like that second thing that I just bought is gonna go somewhere like around where this hole is from that old tree. Maybe a little bit more this way. And then the crepe myrtle will go right there. So that'll give me 3 trees that will be tall, but not that tall. I will keep them sort of at a 6-7 foot mark. They will never get like that. But I'm going to trim them back too. When the fall really sets in and they lose their leaves, I'm going to cut them back. And then I'll have those 2 yellow ones here that I'm hoping that'll fill out and be like at least 3 foot tall. And they'll get thick. I hope. I don't know. I'm going to Google. So I don't have a water line in the front yard. And I do not and cannot right now go buy the black roll pipe, which is how we get our water here. Well, we don't have to, but that's here in Texas. We tend to use a lot of that black roll water line. I can show y'all some of that. It's what's bringing the water into my house. It's what's bringing the water from the now, it's not what Buddy and Steph's house is, but somebody built their house, so they used PVC. I don't know why a house builder didn't go with the black stuff. It's very hard to damage. It doesn't hardly bust or anything. Get back over here in this hole. I want to clear all this out too with my clippers later. See this black pipe coming up? It's just a plastic. So what I'd like to do one day when I get the camper house all situated and the camper's gone, little cottage is all situated and the camper is gone, I would like to tie on the black roll pipe, because right now to get water over there I use water hoses, and there's water hose under this ground. You can see it there, and then it buries right here. It goes under the grass and you can't hardly see. There's a little bit of section of it right there, but basically because we get so wet, especially in the winters and the springs, we're so wet that it compacts down and you can't see it. Look, it comes back up here. You can see it right here. So what I'd like to do is tie on at the well and take the roll pipe to the little cottage. So it'll be a permanent line, no more water hoses laying along the ground. And once we get over there and the camper's gone, I'd like to tie on right at the back of the, you know, when it gets ready to go into the bathroom, that's where it goes in at. And Dad said he was down here, and he says that's, oh yeah, he's pulled it up here a lot. Okay, so he said it's broke loose over here from the post that's under the ground over there. That's what he said. So he says we're just going to have to basically jack it up enough that we lift it up and leave the blocks and pads, which the blocks and pads need to stay there anyway. I wouldn't mind putting a block and pad right here. Do it over here too. It doesn't look like, he looks like all he did was brought it up some here. I can see it's come up off the pipe some. That's good. But I wouldn't mind putting a block and pad at this area too. So put a new one there and a new one here. But where the water goes in right there, once it goes into the house, behind that outlet, it turns and goes down the lines. Daddy told me, he goes, do it inside your house so you'll have inside, so it'll be less likely to freeze. So along the floor inside that little cottage house is a hot and water line running. You can't see it. There's basically the bathtub's in the way, the cabinets in the sink part. You can't see it. It all runs behind that. So we just need to come in right here. So see, you can see the other end of the water hose goes up. It ties into a double, that hose, that black one over there is one with the double ends for faucets. And then it screws on at that outlet. What I'd like to do is just get the black roll pipe, bury it, come straight from the well right down through here all the way and go in. And then it's permanent. No more water hoses. But from there, running down the floor, just maybe with some clamps, and come out the other end, which honestly I think what I've just done may say I don't have to worry about that, but it's still a water hose, and I'll show you all that. I've got to get rid of all these tires. But we could just attach it right out here to this post, or set another post and put a spigot, and then have access to water in the front yard. But what I've done for now, and you know, the truth is I just said I've just done something, and I'm going to show y'all what I've just done. Well, let me go get out of the box. I had, because Walmart was out, so let me go and grab it real quick. So I ordered this water hose holder, and I bought a 50-foot roll and a 100-foot roll. And this goes down the side of the house, which you can barely, now right now you can see a lot of it because I had to, it's right there, the end of it, it's under the steps. And I'll show you but it goes all the way down, and it hooks into that spigot down there. So here, yesterday, I screwed up a post to this tree. And you know, this tree is basically going to come down in the next, I don't know if I'm going to try to give it another year or in the spring. I don't know when it's going to come down, but it's going to come down. And I asked him, would he leave it so high? So, I can have the remembrance of the tree, and I'll do that little roof thing on it. And maybe, now Nanny planted these. I don't know what these are. I do not know what these are. If any of you guys know what this is, it's, in the time that I've lived here, it's only had flowers on it one time. In the 24 years that I have lived on this piece of property, now I can't tell you if it had flowers on it when I was a little girl and just visiting Nanny and Pawpaw, you know, hanging out down here. But I know that in the 20 years I've lived on this piece of property, this has only flowered once. There's some kind of big old ants on it. Oh, there's ants all over. Oh, there's an ant bed down there. I need to put some stuff down there. So what I did was took this corral board and I screwed it to this tree yesterday. And I'm going to hook the water hose holder to it. And then I'm going to pull all that extra out down here and roll it up on here, and then add this 50-foot to it. And that's going to give me front hose for the front yard. I've never had front yard hose. In the times that I've had things ever, when we first moved in here, the backyard really wasn't kind of put together yet. It was just still the way it was when Nanny left. So the first swimming pool we had, we put out here. So I had to bring water hose all the way from the back corner back there all the way to the front. It's the only time there's been a water hose, and that was just pulled up here and then later taken back there. So this is going to give me one that's sort of semi-permanent to stay here. So if I ever get that done over there, that would be great. But if I never get it done, you know, I've got this. I don't know. You know, I'm fixing to be 57, and I think Jesus is going to come any day. So this might be what stays here until the day I go to heaven. But at least I'll have it, you know, better than just roll up on the ground here. And this will give me a way to water the things when I get them put in, or have water up here, so when we burn that, we can keep it sprayed down around it so it doesn't travel from one side or the other. You can't even see Debbie's house from here. When I bought Nanny's, Debbie and I are close, but her house needed to be painted, and you know, back then she still worked and she still did things and went about her day, so her house just never looked pretty to me. And so I started planting all that hedge, and so you can't even see her house anymore right there. You can see the roof of it through there if you're really looking, but in a way it blends in with the sky. But that fence line, if he ever decides he wants to go ahead and start on bringing some kind of a corral down here, some kind of a yard for his animals, if water comes up, we've got to get started on it. And it'll run right down the side of that. It'll go all the way to almost the road, come back up, come down the side of these crepe myrtles, and at that edge right there where the turnaround spot is, that's where it will come back across. Sort of, I'm thinking that this pecan tree will stay on my yard, in my yard. But if it doesn't, it doesn't, because you know, wherever the corner is. But I feel like that will stay in this part, and then the fence will go back up. And after that burn pile is gone, we'll be able to bring the fence back up at an angle to this right here. So when that gate opens, that opens to whatever's going to be in there, can have that whole spot to stay in. And if y'all look, that's a hill. Can y'all see the ground? That is a hill up there. So if the goats come in, if I ever get it done early enough that I can let my goats up here, so they will clear that out, which means I'm going to start seeing, because right now that keeps me, this is not on the fence line, I mean on the driveway. This is sort of like in the middle of the hill that's 25 foot back into the yard. The fence to keep the animals in will be on the ditch line, on my side, but on the ditch. But it's not real full out there, especially this area right here. You can see straight through. But that cluster of hedge stuff, that keeps me from being able to see any further, because the truth is, on the other side, it's not, on the ditch side, it's not real full. It's way fuller than like Steph's, or, you know, Steph's front yard, you can see straight to her house. I didn't want, ever, even before that neighborhood was over there, I never really wanted people to be able to drive down the road and look in at my yard. Even though I keep my yard up, I don't want them seeing if I'm out here, or my kids are out here, my grandkids, people that just passing through. And so we sort of just wanted to be, until I got Nanny's, I had never been on the road. You know, my place was up there where that big gazebo is, where Bree's horses are. That's where my house was originally, the first house I ever had built on the property. I bought this place down here after my nanny died. I bought it from Debbie. It was left to Debbie, and I bought it from her. So when I got down here, I just kept letting that grow up, because no, that neighborhood wasn't over there, but I didn't want to be out here with my kids and be open to anybody looking up into the yard. So I just kept letting it grow up. But the goats will end up cutting that down. I mean, they'll eat that down. It won't be there very long. And then that tree right there is dead. It needs to be cut down. Once it's trimmed out and we can get in there, we'll cut that. But yeah, that's a hill there. You can see it go up that hill. So that'll be where they'll, you know, if water ever does come like Harvey. Now this past, if y'all remember, Molly was tied to this tree. This was all dry out here. It was dry all the way out. So whenever that's cleared, if we ever have another Harvey, where it literally come under my house and was in my front yard, there was no, even though it came in my yard and we come down the steps. When we left that day in Harvey, this is the step. 1, 2, 3 steps. It's the third step up is when we stepped into water. And Tony said it never came over this step. So it did come up a little bit more, but it never came over this step. It was like down here on this, you know, on this riser thing. So it was, but as you walked, when we stepped down, even though we stepped down the water, as we started walking toward the road to get in our cars, because all of our cars were backed up down by the road and parked out there in front, like in front of the dumpster out that way. When we started walking, you started walking out of water. It was like you were just slowly, the water just didn't go that far. And we know that at some point that night, all Dad's cows were in my front yard, because the next day when we came home and the water had receded some, we were able to pull in. We weren't able to pull all the way up because there was still water out here, but it wasn't very deep anymore. But we were able to pull up in here. But when Dad was finally able to go to the back and look for his, none of his cows were there. But when the water went down, and they would have been there if we'd walked out there. We would have seen them. But it was like when I got ready to mow a week later is when I started finding holes all in the ground from all the cows that they had been at this high spot at one point. So that's what this place is going to be whenever Dad gets, do you hear that thunder? I can't wait for it to start raining. But I'm going to get this hooked up and get this hose wound up here. And I'm going to set them out in the rain so they'll get rain, the plants I just bought. But I'm not going to plant them till maybe tomorrow when we've had another dousing of rain and the ground is a little softer. Because I'm telling you what, this ground right now is like concrete. You cannot dig in the summer without watering it down first. And I may have to water it with the water hose, put the sprinkler out here and do it for a couple of days before I even were able to dig a decent hole for these plants. So we'll just have to see what happens. But I'm going to go. I hear my phone ringing in the truck. So I'm going to go and get this water hose thing held up and hung up. And I will see you guys later. Love y'all. Okay, right here, I bought it's 24 of them in a box. And they're these landscape staples. So I've got 2 right here. One here, one right there, holding the water hose against the house. And I'm gonna do it all the way down so the water hose stays against the house for when I'm mowing or any weed eating, anything like that, it stays close. And I'm gonna put a couple over here too to hold it down, just in the grass underneath, coming out underneath the, so much junk coming out down here. Oh, I just seen lightning. And one right over here. But I've got this hook down with some strapping coming up, and then it's wrapped around right there, and it's sort of out of the way. It's not in the way, and it's not an eyesore, I don't believe. I do need to get rid of this planter. There's nothing, that's dead, whatever's in it. That's just a pile of grass that grew in it after, I think I had the Wandering Jew in that, and it died after the flood. And then this stuff came up in it. Oh, that's the hook right here. Anyway, and I need to get these 2. Woo, that lightning is coming down. I need to get these 2 cinder blocks out of here. But anyway, that cleans up and gives me water in the front yard now. So it's out of the way. It's not in any way in the way of anything, and it's not an eyesore up against a tree like that, I don't think. And I already know, I mean, I hate putting screws and stuff like that in trees, although truth is people have done it forever. I mean, you can see in that tree right there, if I get up close to it, you can see where the fence line when my grandpa was still alive. I'm assuming maybe even when Daddy was a kid, the fence came down, and some of that tree right there, you can see the lines in it where fence was in it. And then out by the road, you can see where the fence ended out by the driveway, because there's barbed wire like has grown, the tree grew around the barbed wire. And it's been cut off, but you can see this, you know, a length of barbed wire sticking out of the tree. So you don't really like to do that to your trees, but sometimes you just have to. And in this case, this just needed to be up and out of the way, even from the driveway. I mean, I know those things, whatever they are, and I don't know what they are, but all under, now there's some weeds. I know there's weeds, but this stuff that grows low to the ground, that's mum. So in the winter, I will have little mums growing all along the ground around that tree. Those are these little flowers like this. All of this stuff. All of this stuff like this, that's a mum. Here's another pecan tree trying to come up right here. I think this is some kind of a crepe myrtle trying to come up right here. Now, oh, look at that big ant bed. I just now seen that. Anyway, I'm not ever going to take these big green things away. They're not real pretty. They sort of get scraggly looking, but I don't know what they are. And I've never even Googled to see what they are. I don't remember what they were, but I know there's ants right here, and there's ants over that on that one over there. I hope we get something besides all this rumbling and we actually get some rain. It's going to be very upsetting if it does all this rumble and just passes right over us with no precipitation with it. Anyway. Alright, I'm going to go in the house and find me some lunch. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Love y'all. Katie, I'm trying to do a video.